Hi friends, welcome to the Mastermind Moments podcast.
Hosted by your pals, Josh and Sasha.
Join us during our weekly mastermind as we collaborate on how to make the most out of our lives.
Not only are we going to mastermind our careers, we're going to work on all areas of life together.
Let's do it. Listen in as we make the most of our mastermind moments.
Hi, it's so good to see you. We just signed on with our pal Michelle from GYLS, Tony Robbins Summer Camp, which we always have people on from there, but it's so good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks, you guys, for having me, for reaching out.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on.
Oh my God.
So
I
excited.
think I ran into you at Date with Destiny recently, but I can't remember the last time I saw you before that.
It's been a while. It's been a long time.
Yeah. I think the last time I went to GYLS must have been 2022, but it's been a while. Are you still going back and volunteering every year?
Yeah. COVID took us out for 2 years. And then we finally got an online version in place, and then got back. We did that for 2 years, I think it was, and then got back. So I guess 3 years ago, I believe it was.
I think I came back the first year it came back after being virtual.
Yeah.
I was there that year.
That sounds right. Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, but Cheska was one of our youth leads that
That's
year.
Right. She was.
Right?
That was her youth leader year. Yeah, exactly.
That group was so special. And they had the first 2 years online, which was, I don't want to say not fair. It was what it was, but
it was so crazy because
not the same experience. And they were troopers.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy because I remember thinking once we got to youth leader year, the third year, we all already knew each other. So we had those 2 years of foundation. And a lot of them were already my closest friends. And then I remember we were dropping Cheska off, or we had like a meal with her beforehand here. And I remember they didn't know each other. Her and another youth leader were like, how is this possible? It's so crazy. So at least they're back now, and it's exciting.
Yeah. I was so desperate for Cheska to experience it properly. I thought me and Bella, we got to experience it, and it changed our lives. And I think we were all so desperate for Cheska to have that same experience. And so it was really tough seeing her have to do it online for the first 2 years.
Yeah, for the first.
Yeah, but she had an amazing time in her youth lead year. I think did she go back the year after as well, I think. So she's a proper GYLS kid now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So for the past 5 years, I've been helping to lead the teams, and it's a beautiful thing to see. It's one thing when I'm working with a team, which is the capacity I was in when you guys were coming through, right? And then you guys were also part of Jacob's youth lead year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's so crazy how that's been, what, like 10 years?
Yeah, it's been 10 years now at this point, which is so crazy.
Yeah.
So many of the people in our youth lead year are like some of my closest friends still. And then even, I think most of my closest friends I've met through GYLS, like still to this day.
Yeah.
Like I'd say 90% of the people.
Everybody's so tight.
Yeah,
Everybody's so tight.
it's really nice. It's great.
But that's so, like, when I first started and I was leading teams, that's great. And you got to see those people, and then they go on to the alumni team, and you didn't necessarily get to follow them, track them in their journey. And so then when we went online, they asked me to come take over for Chuck, and did that for 2 years online. And then the last year was the third year in person, but getting to see those kids come through, like their ambassador year and then their alumni year, and like, all right, are we watching? Because we're watching early on now, and it's really beautiful to see that growth and how they step into that role, and especially when you've got siblings, it's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, I love being a part of this program. I loved growing up through it. I love giving back to it. It's one of my favorite things, especially like at Date with Destiny too. We get to talk about it. Has anyone gone? Yep, grew up through it. Let's chat. It's definitely suggested to anyone who has kids who are like growing up now. It's like friends who have kids or just like random people.
Nieces, nephews.
Yeah, it's anyone. Go to GYLS, please. It's the best. All right, so let's get into it. We'll spin a wheel. So based on the wheel of life, we're landing on family. What values or lessons have been or are most important for you to pass down now or future to your children? What values are most important that you're passing down?
I've been listening to y'all's podcast and listening to you two talk about how is this wheel rigged or is it always just so perfectly selected for whatever is
This
happening
one, I
in
swear,
life.
was after James called me out on it. James Treadway called me out on it. I was like, okay, fine. So since then, I have been picking them like by chance. But before that, yeah, I was kind of cherry picking them.
No, just kidding.
But it's true.
But it's a great question, especially for me, because I was looking and I was like, oh, like looking at the different areas and thinking what's going on in relationship to my life. And I would have to say that the thing that was most important for me to teach my boys was really about authenticity and like integrity. And at the end of the day, you've got your word and that's about it. And so do what you say and say what you're going to do and tell the truth. You won't have to remember anything.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's great for me. It's, Jacob's, he'll be 30 the end of July. Noah just turned 24 and they're getting ready to move in together. They're getting ready to do a trip through Germany and Holland. Together, like a brother's trip. And then Noah's going to move in with his brother and they're going to be roommates. And so it's different. Like Jacob's had his stuff together. He owns real estate and he's had his shit together for a while. And, but to see his brother step into this new role himself where he has to, like, it was like 3.5 months ago, I started charging Noah rent and I was like, I'll save it for you. It's not about that, but I'm doing you a disservice after he graduated from college. I'm doing you a disservice if I'm not preparing you for what the real life is going to be like.
Yeah.
When are you ever going to save this much? So I was really proud of myself for doing that, because then when it came time for Jacob to ask his brother, hey, this is what the rent is, Noah had a couple of months under his belt of just even the process of, paying for it. He was funny because he said, y'all may not know Noah well, but I think maybe you know who he is.
We might have met him, but wasn't tight.
He was talking, I was like, rent's due. And he's, I'm going to be moving out, moving in with Jacob. And I was like, all right, I'm happy to prorate that for you. And he's like, there's that week that we're going to be in Europe. And I'm like, I assure you, your landlord does not care about your vacation, you don't care. And I was like, no, I, as your mother, absolutely care. I said, but as your landlord, now do not give two shits about this, right? This is real life.
Yeah.
I said, why don't you ask your future landlord if he's going to care about changing the rent if you're out of town?
Right. Yeah. Wow. I didn't think about that. It's, first of all, I think it's so cool and such a testament to you as a parent. If like when your sons are close enough where they want to live together again after going and doing their own thing, that's, I guess must be a very, very cool thing to see, especially because we know Jacob and I'm sure we've met Noah, but I haven't interacted with him a ton. But just to watch that kind of relationship must be like rewarding, I assume, because
it is just to see. It was Noah's birthday yesterday. He turned 24, and just to see like how he's navigating this next phase of his life, season, and everything that he needs to do to put those things into place so that. Yeah, I'm just super proud of both of them and where they are. And there's 5.5 years between them. So when they were growing up, they had different interests, different play groups, different
schools. Yeah.
Because by the time Jacob was finishing middle, then Noah was just getting in. And so it was all sorts of different things at play there. But now that they've gotten, the older they get, the better, the closer they get.
That's so special. It's so nice.
But last year, they both came to GYLS as captains.
Oh, man.
And so I have a picture of the three of us. I think it was Noah's. I'd have to go look at the colors. It might have been Noah's second year, Noah's alumni year. And Jacob had come back as a captain, and I was leading a team lead.
And
then
cool.
We redid it last year with the boys both as captains in the dorms.
That's so sweet.
I love that. I didn't realize they went back last year. Wow. Wow. That's That's incredible. I feel like I have to send you a picture. I have all of the GYLS t-shirts. I had them all made into a quilt, and it just reminds me of that, especially like the family aspect of the fact that all of you guys do this. I'm sure you guys must have a ton of those, but yeah,
I love those.
I love the shirts.
I'm like,
yeah.
oh no, I can't wash this.
You can't wash this. Oh,
All the I don't want the signatures to come out.
oh, true. Yeah, that's true. Oh, I didn't think about that.
So what about you guys? What was if you take that same question,
yeah.
like
What do you think, Josh?
what was always important for your parents to install in you, and what are you gonna install in? You didn't know I was gonna turn this podcast on. You didn't know.
No, I love it. I love that added question. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the answer for y'all?
It's an interesting one for me because I think I don't blame my parents for anything. I think they didn't have the greatest relationships, and every parent is learning as they go, right? They're all making mistakes as they go along, and I think over the last year I've really seen that firsthand, how that's impacted me now that I'm in a serious relationship and how that showed up in my relationships. I think the main thing that I think has been a big issue for me with my parents, and that I really want to make sure is not passed down to my children, or something that is passed down is a better way of framing it. And it's similar to what you were saying, Michelle, about I was too comfortable for most of my 20s, and most of my life I've been too comfortable. I've had run-ins with legal run-ins. I've had free accommodation for most of my life until a couple of years ago, because my mum sheltered me and she protected me and she bailed me out when I needed help. And she always said to me, you know, after many, many times bailing me out, she was like, next time I'm not going to do it because you have to learn and you're becoming too comfortable.
Right.
You just have this mindset of every single time something bad happens, I'm just going to bail you out. And I think subconsciously that was absolutely true. I never suffered consequences. And as a result, I kept misbehaving. And I kept living this lifestyle, spending all my money, not saving anything because I could.
You did too. It's very smart strategy. Right.
Exactly. So I think there has to be an element of discomfort. You have to, as a child, suffer consequences. You have to learn from your mistakes. And if every time you make a mistake, your parents are going, I'm going to save you, then that's the way that you think the world works. And of course it's not. When you go out into the real world, that is not the way it works. And I moved out a couple of years ago. I bought my apartment, and now I have to pay bills.
Welcome to the real world.
I have to pay a lot of money outgoing every month, so I can't afford to be making these mistakes that I was making before. So I think that's the biggest thing for me. I think that's a really kind of major thing that I want my children to be happy and to live a good life, but I don't want them to be comfortable, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what like. You don't want them to be in the ditch. You're not going to let them be homeless, but it's like,
No.
yeah, they got to be stretching and growing, and otherwise you're doing them a disservice, I think, as a parent, you know.
Yeah.
But I know that for Jacob, it'd be like, he's adulting's hard, and I'm like, yeah. And then there are things where it's like, all right, I can make this a little easier, or I can make this.
Yeah, exactly. There are pros and cons to just adulting in general. The rent of it all and the insurance of it all and taxes and things like that. It's not a fan.
Right.
But also just getting the option to choose your life is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I must have had a cookie for dinner once, and I was like, I'm an adult and I can do that if I want to.
That's right.
If that's what needs to happen, I'm an adult, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's an interesting one too, to see the kind of correlation too between maybe some of your like habits and the being too comfortable. I'd say that definitely, I know my mom always talks about this too, because she was very intentional about me always being comfortable, being able to ask for what I wanted wasn't really important for her. If that just came down to making decisions about what I actually wanted, and being able to vocalize that was something that she was really active about. And both my parents were very active about the always like high achiever situation. If that was like career, financially, or anything like that, or grades at the time, if it was school, like always just excelling and pushing myself to excel has always just been. Now, obviously they let that go because they see I just like naturally do it to myself. I'm naturally that way.
wired that
Yeah,
way.
exactly. So they were like, you should take a break, maybe, like rest or something. So you work a lot. I'm like, okay, guys, well,
Should take a break.
yeah, it's fine. They don't love it when I have to, like, I'm delegating things to them. I'm like, I have no bandwidth right now. Can you just look this thing up for me? Because they're semi-retired and have more time and things like that. So they're like, okay, you have a lot on your plate right now. But yeah, as far as like future children go, I don't know. That's not something I've thought about at all. So I don't know. I guess what would be important to me is honestly, it's not something I've given any thought to.
Yeah.
No, not really. I guess just the ability to, I don't know, like freedom of fun and thought. And I think just this is so logistical, but just being in real life away from screens, go
Yeah.
outside and play, like fall in the dirt and go experience real life outside of like a screen or even sometimes outside of like the matrix of it all. Just go enjoy and experience life.
It's going to have to swing that way. Obviously, it's going to have to be very, very intentional. But I think we are going to see more and more parents who are just like putting their foot down. And then for a while, it's just like the age of kids on screens, like younger and younger and younger and younger. But I do think we'll start to see that pendulum swing. I know I'm already seeing it with what I do with my kids versus what my brothers are doing with their kids. They had kids a little bit later in life. So I'm already starting to see, and hopefully we'll see that, not with everybody. There's such a huge portion of people where it's just a babysitter for these kids. But like, I do see more intentionality around that. And hopefully maybe I'm just being too Pollyanna, but
I don't know. We'll see. I hope so. Because it's just, you can definitely tell I don't want to say tell the difference. It's hard to be present with them sometimes, or maybe that was just my experience with it. Maybe it was just like the kids I was interacting with, but I was like, oh my God, have a real conversation or be outside in the sunshine or just enjoy each other's company, like in real life, face to face. But
right.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, like you would find the yard that had the most bikes, and that's how you knew where everybody was.
I love that. I love that. That's,
I'd be like, oh, they're all over there.
Yeah, exactly. You just go outside, you play. I feel like that's what I want to do on my days off now.
I wanted to talk on the phone.
Yeah.
It was attached to a cord. It was attached to the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
we can't even go room to room without it.
Oh my God, I know.
It's so wild.
Crazy.
Yeah. So to get into the like meat of the episode, we base it around the wheel of life, and we say that every area in life, in any given time, there's always areas that are going really well and areas that need more attention or love or TLC. What do you feel like? Where are you thriving right now, and where do you feel like you need to strive for a little bit more like attention and care?
I'd say actually right now, let me look at this wheel. The first thing that comes to my mind without looking at the wheel is I'm thriving and need more attention in the same category, if that makes any sense.
Okay, let's see.
And yeah, so, career. I've been working as a full-time artist for the last 8 years now. And then doing Tony stuff in my spare time. But moving from here to Australia, and then it was a great opportunity to reinvent myself. And then moving from Australia back to the States, it's almost all right. Now we got to really even kick it into more gear. So there's a course that I'm going to be launching, and there's so many things that I've done over the last year that I'm really proud of, and starting to build up a real presence and consistency. So it does feel like it's going really, really well, and I've made huge strides and sold more art this past year than I've ever sold before combined. Wow. So all been great. And with this launch of this course, it's like the next thing. So I've really got to be like even more intention. And for the artist, that's challenging sometimes, because like my brain is just like here and there and this idea and that idea. And, sometimes it's hard to really kind of lock me down. I need the manager. Mm-hmm. And I have an assistant that I hired last year, and she's been like a godsend, Stephanie, and God love her. She like the work with the stuff that I give her with my these all the different directions that I take her in.
Yeah.
That woman the same, right? But for me, it's kind of like the same, if that makes any sense. I hope that lands better or lands that, because I'm so proud of everything that I've done over the last year and the consistency of it, and I can be like a shiny ball and get off track. I end up down the rabbit hole. And at the same time, like I've got to have even more because I got to lead us through this launch. I'm a great support team, but I'm the leader of the team. But yeah,
You've got to stay focused.
I got to stay focused.
Yeah.
I got to keep my eye on that prize.
It's an interesting one. I've said to Sasha a few times, one of my favorite mantras, and it feels like this is what you've just explained kind of embodies that at the moment, is whenever something good happens, I say, I'm grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for whatever it is that I've achieved. And I invite,
welcome. Invite more.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
right.
And I think that sounds like the situation you're in. You're very grateful for what you've achieved over the last year, but
writing that
you're
down.
inviting more. I try and do it in every single thing that I celebrate, everything that goes well, because it puts me in that mindset of abundance, of achieving more.
I'm grateful for this moment, and I invite in even more.
Yeah.
You have been using this mantra a lot this year.
Yeah, honestly, I would say I think it's the reason that I've manifested the things that I have into my life. So it sounds like the embodiment of what you just described. So I thought I'd throw that out there.
Thank you.
Wow. The career is like the area that's really striving, and it's the area you're really focusing on too. I honestly totally get it.
Yeah, there's so many other things. Like when I moved back over from Australia, that was about a year and a half ago. And it took my husband longer to wrap up his end of things. And so he just got over here end of September.
Okay.
And we're doing his green card application. That's obviously a huge focus. And it's also a huge area like limbo, because who knows how long that's going to take to come through.
Yeah. It's, we've had friends actually through GYLS too. I know we have a couple mutual friends, like with the green card situation. I know Josh is going through a lot of situations and stuff with visas and green cards, and it adds so much of a stressor on family life and relationship life and those areas, because it's like logistically so much, it takes up so much space, but it can be really, really, really tough.
That application was just next level, you know, and we've been married 8 years, you know, and they're like, oh, we'd like cards and letters. And I'm like, got it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I'm sure it's different. It's probably even more extreme over there. But, you know, what I've been having to prepare this full kind of presentation about our relationship, and, you know, from the moment it started and everywhere we've traveled together and every party, every concert we've been, and then we have to provide tickets and receipts. It's just crazy.
Flight receipt. I'm like, I don't have that stuff anymore.
No, yeah, who keeps it? I delete all my emails. Yeah, crazy. It's stressful.
Yeah, it can be challenging. It's I don't know, logistically is a lot. It's just watching you guys go through it. I don't envy it at all, but it definitely is
just the limbo of it all, because the sites, the South Carolina state site says that it's going to be like, you know, like 15 to 18 months. And you can't even reach out to be like, hey, how's it going, until they hit that minimum.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully it won't be that long, and we're trying to manifest like the best person in the division, like it comes across their desk and everything's going, and, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed everything goes smoothly for both of you guys, for real. And anyone out there who's going through it with this kind of.
I know. And not just like, I remember when I moved over to Australia, there was a bit of culture shock for me. And I remember like the things that really made me feel like, oh, okay, it's going to be all right. And like buying a car was one of those things.
Yeah.
Getting my own studio space, like finding the yoga studio finding my own hair salon where I knew I had my regular person. Like those things were just like, oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. It's like creating a new life and putting down new roots, and it's somewhere else can be really, it's exciting, but sometimes it can be disorienting as well at the same time. Yeah, exactly.
Because we're creatures of habit, right? And habit and routine. And so when we don't have or we don't have that settled routine. It's difficult. I think Sasha was obviously traveling over the last year or so, and it was a hot topic of conversation that we spoke about a lot. But I think when there's so much uncertainty around something, and it's exactly what I'm experiencing with my partner at the moment, who is stuck in India until August, September, probably, until we figure this out. We can't settle in our relationship until there's clarity on that. It's hard to get into a routine, I think mentally more than anything, just in your head, the way that things are. So yeah, it's difficult being in that limbo period.
Absolutely. And with all that being said, like tomorrow's promised to no one. Like you've got to make the moments that aren't routine rituals or, priorities, because who knows
Exactly.
what could be around the corner for any of us,
Exactly. Yeah, it can be. We always say that the wheel of life, all the areas we consider them all equal, but there are a couple pillars that if they're not going well, it tends to really disorient you. And we say that's typically physical health, your relationship, and then either career, finances, one of the two. If one of those is messed up, it impacts every other area.
It impacts everything. That's in a way, if you think about it, you think about Date with Destiny, and Tony talks about the spheres of life. Right. He's got self being one. And so definitely your physicality, your health would fall under that. And then he's got relationships, so that he's got work. Like you said, there are those core three that they're the legs under the table. If one of those goes, like, it will disrupt everything.
Yes, exactly. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Josh, how are things going with the visa and process and everything in general? What's going well? What's needing some loving care?
Yeah, I mean, visa situation, we're working on it slowly, but surely. We're actually going to chat tomorrow to a lawyer and see kind of what the best route to take is. There's a few options. So that's chugging away. Honestly, this weekend, I was just explaining before recording to Sasha that I have probably had one good night's sleep in about a month since my partner went back to India. Just settling into, again, the routine of sleeping without her after having had her here for so long. I think it's just really impacting me. I'm just not used to it. And so just exhausted constantly at the moment. So I'm not operating at my best capacity. Physical health-wise, I'm eating healthily, I'm working out, I'm going for runs all the time. I'm super healthy at the moment, but I don't feel like it. My physical health right now feels like a 2 or a 3, like it's really low. And it's something I don't really know how to deal with that at the moment.
It's a reason that sleep deprivation is a torture tactic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. It's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all I can be doing is anything that's in my power. I think avoiding drinking alcohol, which massively impacts sleep, and just doing anything that I can to.
I had to create a body of pillows.
A body of pillows, yeah.
So So when I was, because Shane and I we started long distance, and then I moved over, and it took him longer to transition himself. And like, I used to have to do all the pillows down, and then I just snuggle back into that. And then even though I knew it wasn't the same, and I'd just be like, okay, at least there's something there.
Oh yeah. I for sure do that. For sure.
That's so
You should have pillows at every side.
Yeah.
You haven't thought about, definitely line up pillows on that side. It might help.
Yeah, okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. I think the big thing for me is getting used to sleeping in a certain position, because I for so long was sleeping on one side of the bed and kind of limiting my space, and now I have the whole bed, which on paper is much more attractive, but it's just taking time to get used to. So maybe if I did fill up that side of the bed, that's a really good idea. I like that. I'll try that tonight.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. This is why we mastermind.
You don't have to sleep like a starfish.
No, exactly. But that's the habit I'm getting into. But then I can't actually sleep like that. Yeah. So I think, again, we talk about physical health being such a major pillar of the wheel, because that's being impacted so heavily right now. It feels like every other area is suffering.
Sure.
I'm not performing at work. this weekend is Savita, my partner's birthday yesterday, and I've just found it really difficult. Like the feelings of not being with her and the negative emotions that come with that have just multiplied by about 1,000 this weekend, being away from her on her birthday and feeling completely powerless as to what I can do to make her feel special and to make her feel loved.
Right.
I've really struggled with that today, particularly. I woke up today and I was like, wow, this is rough. I think it's something I'm dealing with. I'm going to see her in a couple of months. That would be good, but 2 months is a long time, and by then we would have been apart for 3 months. So it's a tough situation. I feel like every day at the moment it feels more and more intense. So I'm just dealing with that at the moment. That's the main thing I'm struggling with.
Yeah, it was like that for Shay and myself, I know. And then it'd be like, we'd have a trip, we'd get to see each other, and then it would be like really, really harder at the beginning, and then things would taper off a little bit, and then we had so much time, so much practice of going back and forth. Like I said, we did 2 years long distance, and then had the time together, and then like another year and a half. So I get it. I hear you. It does get better.
Yeah, no,
It does get better, especially if you've got priorities aligned and you guys are making the time for each other, and it does get better. And then it does, one of the great things about a long distance relationship is they're very intentional.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No,
just, and if you're not feeling creative, don't beat yourself up on it. You're like, just get on ChatGPT and be like, I'm long distance with my girlfriend. Help me. I'm not feeling very creative. Help me brainstorm some unique ways I can make Savita.
Yeah, Savita, yeah.
Savita makes Savita feel. I mean, does she listen to the podcast? Because even if when she listens back to this, when it airs, she listens back to this. Just knowing that you were thinking about her, like trying to brainstorm ways, that's going to make her feel super special.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I think, when she went away, I said, I think it's really important that we keep things fresh and that we don't just FaceTime every day and just have a catch up about how our day was, because it will get to a certain point where that's dry and we need to keep things fresh. And we're only a month in, but in that month, it's been difficult to figure out the time, because the time difference is so difficult as well. I'm sure you found that, Michelle, probably even more so, actually. What was your time difference?
14 to 16 hours, depending. That was the thing. Is so like, because they're south of the equator and we're north of the equator, when we would fall forward, they would fall back.
Of course. Yeah.
You say
14 hours to 15 hours to 16 hours.
Yeah, it's like good mornings, good nights, basically.
Yeah. But there was their summer was, I think, a pretty good time. I guess it was, because then we had 16 hours different.
Yeah.
So we would be talking or in the morning, and then we'd be talking in the evening as well. And it worked out pretty well. And Shane was doing shift work over there. So when he did that, sometimes he was night shift and it was my day. So that worked out really well for international as well. I don't know about the time difference. There are times when that actually can help.
Yeah, I think that the time difference is probably the biggest difficulty at the moment, because it's 5.5 hours. So when I wake up, she's right in the middle of her day, and then I have to work. So we can't really talk until a few hours later. And by the time we actually talk, she's about to go to bed and she's tired, and it's hard to do anything exciting and to keep it fresh based on that. Again, we're only a month in, and it's going to be a lot of learning, a lot of adapting, and we will figure it out. But it's difficult at the moment.
Yeah, the time difference didn't always make it feasible for us to talk or FaceTime, but it did. We were constantly, if that was what was going on, then we were like just sending each other like sweet little love notes through the day. And that was something that you can do from the middle of your workday, and that she can receive, even if she can't make that time to, and vice versa.
Absolutely. Yeah.
She can really send those idea. and they can be waiting for you when you open your eyes in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice idea. Yeah, it means that you wake up and feel that love instantly, and it's a constant reminder of who they are and what the relationship means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like hitting the different, it's something we chatted about before, but hitting as many love languages as you can in different ways. And obviously maybe the quality time aspect isn't as, honestly, quality time and physical touch are probably not going to be the highest right now because you just have logistical challenges in the way, but you could definitely supplement with gifts and words of affirmation. And what's the fifth one? Am I missing one?
But I mean, like if you define quality time as whatever it is for you, like 20 minutes a day, 40 minutes a day, whatever quality time is for you, it doesn't mean that quality time can be 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 1 minute here, unless your rule says it has to be cumulative or her rule says it has to be cumulative.
True.
But it might not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's all a lot of trial and error, I think, is the main thing. And figuring out what her needs are from a distance, because I know what they are in person, but I think from a distance is very different. And she was never a big texter until she met me, because I've always been.
Until she had to be.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're having to text again, like we did at the start of our relationship. I think it's taking her some time to adjust to that and to figure out again, how can she do this and make me feel love, but also feel love with the words that I'm giving? Because words are, 100% my number one love language. And she knows that. But I think texting is difficult because it gets lost in tone. And so we try and send voice messages and yeah, it's tricky. But as I say, it's trial and error and we will figure it out. It's still very early on. Got probably 6-7 months before she'll be back. Hopefully we'll get there.
Remember those little codes when you were kids and you had to have the key, and so somebody would send you, like, they'd pass you the note in school or whatever, and you'd have to then decode it.
Yeah.
Oh my, yeah. Come on, Josh, let's get on like the handwritten letters. Let's go back to some snail mail, like postcards.
Snail mail, or even sending a picture. You could send a picture of your handwritten letter.
Yeah.
Do you know what's really difficult? I've tried sending cards to her, tried sending her mail. I don't know what it is. I think the Indian postal service is
probably
awful. I sent her something literally a month ago, the week that she left, and it still hasn't reached her. Yeah, it's not ideal. But yeah, I mean, it's things like that are going to keep it fresh. And
but you can handwrite a letter and then take a picture of it.
Yeah, that's also, very good point. Very good point.
It's still your handwriting. She's still got to take the time to
try and read it. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually true. It doesn't matter if it's handwritten in person or handwritten on the screen. You're still having to decode that thing anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. My terrible handwriting.
I love that. I may do that for my husband because I've been trying to think of like unique Valentine Day gifts. And I saw this one box and it was filled with these little mini tiny envelopes. I'm like, but they're so damn tiny. I'm like, I don't know that I could even write that small. And then there is another box where you program in the app a digital message, and then like on the box itself, like the little heart starts to move and it lets them know that they've got a message, and it's whatever you put in and it comes through the heart on the box or something. I was like, that's clever.
That's cute. With my ex-boyfriend, I've talked about this before too, but they're called like bond bracelets, and you can tap them and they vibrate on the other person's wrist.
Yes.
Loved those.
Yes.
Those were awesome.
Very similar idea.
Yes, exactly. Love a Netflix party, love all that kind of stuff. So
that's awesome. I love that.
Just get creative. But yeah, asking ChatGPT too, why not? Brainstorm some ideas, and it's tough, but there are ways to supplement.
No, 100%. There's ways to do it. So it's just trying.
It has its pros and cons, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, but it'll all be good. Sasha, how are you? What have you been up?
You just had a surgery, right?
Yes, I did just have a surgery now 3 weeks ago, so I can't emote quite. I'm like not supposed to smile or laugh a lot, which is the downside. But honestly, having this surgery has been what I really needed in terms of slowing down and resting. It's really forcing me to rest, and if that just means taking everything more slowly, so walking, and I can't get my heart rate up, so having to lay in the park instead of going for some sort of workout or whatever. So it's really and that's something I really needed to prioritize in general, just because I was really go for a long time, traveling full time, and now being able to slow down, to speed up and pause and rest and take breaks has been really nice. Honestly, things have been really great. I'd say like physical health is the one area that feels like it's challenged, but it's in the same way that both of you guys have like areas that like the one area is going well and not well, like Josh, physical health, like well in some areas and not well in not other areas. And then Michelle for career too, like great in some, not great in others. I feel like my physical health is that same, where I'm so glad that this surgery is forcing me to rest and recover. And at the same time, I'm an athlete, and I like working out was such a huge piece of my mental health and feeling good, and I can't do that right now. And I'm still walking every day, at least an hour or 30 minutes, 40 minutes, just really, really slowly. But I do miss working out a lot, and I do feel myself like slipping into, it's just not the healthiest lifestyle for me to not be moving and not be eating super clean or things like that. But other than the physical health area, everything feels great. I moved into a new house last week, and I love it here. It's great. It's not what I expected, but definitely what I needed. I thought it was going to be more community oriented because it's community living, but it's way more transient than I was expecting. So people are coming, going, and I'm spending so much time in solitude, really focused right now on my career, and like in a career sprint right now. So it's been really nice to slow down, break, rest, and then just really enjoy putting in inspired action into like my career right now. And that's where my focus has been. And there hasn't been much community in the house per se, but I say like friends and family, like 10 out of 10 could not be better right now. Just, I have so much community in San Diego. Like I saw like Michael Kwan on Friday. I'm seeing people from GYLS, just people from all walks of life in San Diego. It's awesome. And it's really, really nice to be, and like even my long distance relationships have never been better. Like tons of friends and family have been connecting with me, and I've been connecting with them, and that's been great. And mental health has been great since I've been here, like with the sun every day and just really enjoying my time. And things have been, at least for the last week or so, I've been doing this new time blocking system as well. So that's alleviated a lot of my stress levels as well. So mental health wise, things are great. Physical environment, things are great. Friends, family, things are great right now. Career, I'm like loving putting in the work, taking some intentional time to be good about finances right now. Implemented this thing called Money Mondays, where every Monday I like get into state, listen to my money playlist, and then I just look at financial shit for an hour or two, and things are feeling good. But physical health is the area right now where I'm like, I don't love when my clothes feel tight, or I don't love when I'm not able to move. I just like love getting really good movement in. So that's, everything else is feeling great right now, but it's definitely like a balance. But in general, I'm happy.
What is a money playlist?
Oh my God. Okay, I'm like a playlist junkie. I must have like 60 or 70 playlists at this point. But I have a playlist called Money, and it's just a bunch of songs about money. I actually put some of them on there that you suggested to me. Do you remember that artist you suggested it to me, where it was like, yes, the manifest. Yes. He sent me some manifestation music, and I put some of their songs on my money playlist. There's like some Drake in there. There's some.
I'm gonna need a link to this playlist.
Yes, I'll link out the money playlist for sure. It's to get you in a good state about making stacks. It's just like you feel rich, and then you do shit that makes you actually rich. Yeah, just loving that too. It's also just, I find that, okay, if this thing is making me feel nervous and uncomfortable, I want to spend some intentional time learning about it and spending time with it, and like mastering my finances. That was like a big focus for me this year. So spending some intentional time on it has felt cool. Even if it's just 1 hour a week, or 2 hours a week, it like really, at least the momentum is helping.
Making sure that you're vibrating with that same energy, that same level, that, to draw back the light.
Yes. Honestly, I've been noticing that a lot too, especially with the career sprint I'm in right now. I noticed I was really living in a force instead of a flow state. And I was just kind of, oh man, I have to get all these things done with all the to-do lists and like whatever. And really pushing myself and just almost saying in my head, like, oh, I have to do this, have to do that. Instead of saying, for my podcast at least, no one is forcing me to do these things. Like, these are just extra creative projects I picked up. Like, it should be fun, and the energy I'm putting into it is ultimately what's going to come out on the other side. So if I'm putting in this force energy where I'm feeling frustrated at maybe the lack of growth or something like that, that's the energy I'm going to get out on the other side, as opposed to just I'm prioritizing right now, like, how can I have so much fun while I'm putting in inspired action and doing that. Physical environment, like here.
Much better question.
Yeah, it's great. Like, I love my desk space in this new house. It's gorgeous. I'll have to send you guys a picture, but it's like gorgeous bay windows and I get direct sunlight from sunrise to sunset. I'm just got like my disco plant and some crystals and some Palo Santo, and I'm good. I'm good to rock and roll. And it feels great to be here, but I'm liking putting that energy in because I feel like it feels a lot better just in general, just moving through all of it.
Awesome.
So that's where I'm at right now. So this week's been good. So catch me at a good time right now.
Anything exciting coming up this next week for you guys?
Still middle career sprint. Next week is obviously Valentine's Day and I'm single, but it was my anniversary with my ex too. So I'm going to have to plan something extra fun to do. Not sure what that's going to look like, but it's going to be a blast regardless. But,
I love it.
Yeah. What about you, Josh?
I don't have a huge amount. I've actually left my week quite clear so that I can reset a little bit. I've had a very busy week, and I think this next week the focus needs to be calm and getting as much sleep as I can to catch up, if I can sleep now, with the pillows next to me. Hopefully that'll help. But yeah, no, not a huge amount. I think my main focus is really just working on stuff outside of work, which has been a big focus for the last couple of weeks for me. And I'm starting to see some of the fruits of that, which has been really cool, actually, to see the results of consistency and putting in the work. And it's a really nice feeling. But I need to build on that, but also look after my mind and body next week. I think that's really important.
What about you, Michelle? What's happening? What's coming up?
Like, it was interesting because I wrote a weekly blog, and January was all about like just starting and specifically to pain, like just making a mark on the canvas, like not worrying too much about big resolutions or 2026 goals or that sort of thing. But then behind the scenes, I found myself doing just that. And then there was an element of not just feeling really congruent, not being thrilled with that, which kind of ties into what I was saying earlier. It's like the push the pull of it, right? And I'm like, I started to rethink that and re-examine that in January and February, at least in our area of the world, of the planet. It's hibernation months. They are slow down months. They are recalibrate months. Regather yourself, be kind, sleep, rest. So yeah, I'm trying to find that grace within myself to not push, but at the same time, like planning and making sure that I'm doing daily steps. And for me, I'm one of those like recovering perfectionists.
What do you do to perfect your recovery?
I've just been putting a lot of things out there that in my mind are, right? Like normally I would I would have to be, but if that were the case, then I would you'd probably only see the 20% of my art, I think. And yeah, there are a lot of things that I'm just like, okay, great. Let's just make some progress. And that's a very different place for me to be in. And I'm kind of actually digging it a little bit. So it's new. It's interesting. I have to keep telling myself, like, who's really going to the blog anyway? Like, who's actually, do they care if you've got an Oxford comma in there, Michelle? They probably don't even know what an Oxford comma is. Like,
yeah,
my own shit.
Yeah, exactly. They just care about how you made them feel. If that's through the art or through the blog
right.
or like whatever.
Like nobody's thinking about that.
Yeah, are they resonating with what you're sharing?
No, nobody's looking to see if your grammar is consistent. You know, like, so I'd let go of a lot of those things. I'm still practicing. It's ongoing.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I have not the opposite problem, but I can tend to rush through a lot so that I can produce a lot instead of slowing down, pausing, and like being more thoughtful. And almost like I can be a perfectionist, but more in just the getting it done as opposed to like the specifics of it all. Yeah.
I think
it's keeping me from getting it done. So for me, it's got to be like I'm taking this portrait course. Kara Bullock's it was called Let's Face It. And for the longest time, like I would paint people from the neck down, or the faces would be super blurry, or I just avoided faces like the plague. And then I think a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, like Tony, right? Oh, if you can't, you must. It scares you. Like there's something to be paying attention to there. So it's like lean in. And so anyway, I'm taking this portrait class. And so one of the things that I said, like on my Instagram page, was like, all right, I promise you it's one portrait a week for a year. So I was like, all right, I promise you a portrait on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like last Friday, I was like, oh, like I didn't, and I was like, too bad. This is what you said you were going to do. And because the authenticity and the integrity is so important to me, I'm going to do it. But then like the perfectionist in me was like, maybe you could stay up all night long and do it again and get a better one. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's not necessarily about
Like,
having the perfect thing. It's about the fact that you're putting in the reps.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I'm doing, just putting it out there, even if I don't, I mean, especially when I don't like it.
Yeah.
Especially when I don't like it.
Yeah.
What is the phrase, messy action is better than no action? And that's a shift that I've really tried to make this year. But I've also found, because I've been posting a lot of my own content recently, and it's really interesting how the content that I really edit and try and make perfect and really slick and look good, it doesn't do very well. It's the content that I'm putting out there that is messy. It's the messy action that I'm taking that is authentic, because people buy into authenticity, and that's what's really doing well for me. So I think it's an interesting kind of transferable message there.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Michelle, thank you so much for getting on with us. This was so amazing to catch up with you.
So anyway, I'm so proud of you guys and everything that you've been doing. Like I started listening, I think, with Kayla's.
Okay. Yeah.
No, Kyla.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, and oh my God, it was so good. It's such a blast from the past, and just listening to you guys, and so proud of everything you've done and how it's grown. And
yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll have to have you guys on again, or maybe we'll get you and Jacob at the same time. That'd be so much fun to have a family chat.
That'd be so much fun. Be well, you guys. Super proud of you.
Thank you so much. We'll chat with you soon.
Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week.
All right.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and follow along on social media.
If you would like us to help you mastermind something in your life, please send us a message.
We'll see you next week on the Mastermind Moments podcast.